Hey everybody, it's your sister in Christ, Sister Jojo. Thank you guys for joining, and don't forget to share, like, and comment. Okay, God has been doing some amazing things in iLM, and I am so excited to be a part of the elevation. Okay, but first we want to thank you to our very own Apostle Sally and Lady Renee for entrusting me to release this word from the Lord. And I pray that by the end of my message, that your people will receive a permanent fix. Okay? So, my topic on tonight is called temporary feeling. And you guys are going to hear this phrase a lot tonight, okay? So get ready to memorize it, get ready to type it in the chat, get ready to sleep on it, okay? So temporary feeling. And I'm just going to dive right in. And I've been having this word for about a month now, okay? And I was debating with God. We was going back and forth, and I wasn't sure if this word was just for me or if it was a word that I can actually share and help other people as well. So earlier this week, I got confirmation that this is a word for everybody, okay? So there's no amount of Sunday services, WordUp Wednesday teaching, or prophecies from your sister or your brother in Christ that is going to fulfill your relationship with God. You know, that is called a temporary feeling, a temporary fire for God. And God said that it is time to get out of that routine. It's time to give yourself permission to get out of that old feeling. We cannot continue to move forward and feel the exact same way that we always feel. He said it's time to elevate and tell yourself that it is okay to grow permanently. And I want to speak to those that are comfortable with a temporary fix, that are comfortable with just getting by little. So this can go two different ways, whether it's spiritually or personally, because it's time to get out of that old phase. So I just want to tell you just a little bit about me and how I used to be until I got elevated in Him. And I used to be one of those that come to church just for a temporary feeling. And let me tell y'all, it was just that, a temporary feeling of life being okay at the moment, a temporary feeling of stress being lifted off at the moment, a temporary feeling of the world being on pause. But let me tell you what God told me. He said, I see you showing up. I see you coming every Sunday. I see you watching our WordUp Wednesday, you know. But he said, when are you going to stop showing up and start showing out, right? When are you going to stop being afraid of what I place inside of you? When are you going to realize that you don't need to gain confidence, because confidence already lies within you? When are you going to realize that however you praise me, however you teach me, however you worship me is more than enough? You don't have to worship like anybody else. You don't have to praise me like anybody else. You don't have to teach the word like anybody else. What you're doing, what you are delivering to the people is more than enough for me. Do it in your own way, in your own unique way. And God said He is pleased with just that, right? He said, am I more than a feeling to you? When are you going to make time in your busy schedule for me? For I am the one that granted you time in the first place. So y'all just take a moment and really ask yourself, do you make enough time for God? And if you do make time for God, is it enough? Do you think you should have more time? Do you think your time is enough that you're giving Him? You know, so just take a moment and ponder on that, because God has really been dealing with me about time and a temporary feeling, right? So, let's see. So in other words, no matter how tired or busy we are, we have to keep God in the midst. He got it's crazy because this might sound funny, but God can be a little dramatic. And I think he got a little gangster on me because he was like, how dare you put me off and you attend everything else? You know, like we say that we're tired, but we see you at an outing, or we see you out to eat, or we see you staying up late at night watching TV or something like that. But are we really tired, or we just don't want to put in the effort for God? You know, or do we just want this temporary feeling that we feel on Sunday? You know, like how long would that last? So he was like, how dare you put me off because you're tired, but we attend everything else. And y'all, that did something for me, because it doesn't matter how bad we want him. If we aren't willing to go after him, make time for him, pursue him, then our wants are for nothing. It's like trying to pursue your dream job or that dream house, or trying to build that business that you desire. You can want it all you want to, but if you do nothing to actually get it, it's just a want. It's just a temporary feeling. It's just a temporary desire that you're seeking. But temporary feelings can get you in trouble too, right? So we're just going to jump into this word and talk about a man named David and where his temporary feelings got him into, okay? So I'm going to be in 2 Samuel, starting at the 11th verse. 2 Samuel, starting at the 11th verse. I'm be coming out of the NIV version. Okay? And it reads, in the spring, at the time when kings go off to war, David sent Joab out with the king's men and the whole Israelite army. They destroyed the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah, but David remained in Jerusalem. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful. And David sent someone to find out about her. Someone say temporary feeling. Because in that very moment, David had a temporary feeling about a woman that he saw bathing, right? So David is now moving on a temporary feeling. And it reads, the man said, she is Bathsheba, the daughter of Elam, and the wife of Uriah the Hittite. Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. Now she was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanness. Then she went back home. The woman conceived and sent word to David, saying, I am pregnant. Now, how many of you know that temporary feeling can manifest into something permanent? A routine that you would become used to and begin to carry within you. You know, and then at some point it gets hard to get away from that temporary feeling if you're getting used to it, right? So we're going to keep moving on. Verse 5. Okay, and verse 6 says, so David sent this word to Joab. Send me Uriah the Hittite, and Joab sent him to David. When Uriah came to him, David asked him how Joab was, how the soldiers were, and how the war was going. Then David said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. So Uriah left the palace, and a gift from the king was sent after him. But Uriah slept at the entrance to the palace with all his master's servants and did not go down to his house. David was told Uriah did not go home. So he asked Uriah, haven't you just came for a military companion? Why didn't you go home? Uriah said to David, the ark in Israel and Judah are staying in tents, and my commander, Joab, and my Lord's men are camped in the open country. How could I go to my house to eat and drink and make love to my wife? As surely as you live, I would not do such a thing. Verse 12, Then David said to him, "Stay here one more day, and tomorrow I will send you back." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem the next day and the next. At David's invitation, he ate and he drank with him, and David made him drunk. But in the evening, Uriah went out to sleep on his mat among his master's servants, and he did not go home. Verse 14. In the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. In it, he wrote, "Put Uriah out in front where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him so he will be stuck down and die." So this man was trying to kill her husband, pretty much. You know, he was acting off of a temporary feeling so he can pursue his wife. So while Joab had the city under siege, he put Uriah at a place where he knew the strongest defenders were. When the men of the city came out and fought against Joab, some of the men in David's army fell. Moreover, Uriah the Hittite died. Joab sent David a full account of the battle. He instructed the messenger, "When you have finished giving the king the account of the battle, the king's anger may flare up, and he may ask you, 'Why did you get so close to the city to fight? Didn't you know that would shoot arrows from the wall?'" All right, so I'm going to stop right there. And then I'm going to jump down to verse 25, okay? We're going to jump down to verse 25. And at this moment, you guys can see David acting on a temporary feeling. And the first temporary feeling led him into pursuing the other guy's wife. So now, since he acted up on that temporary feeling, it's going to lead him into something else. All right, so I'm just going to jump down to chapter 25, verse 25, and it reads, David told the messenger, "Say this to Joab, don't let this upset you. The sword devours one as well as another. Press the attack against the city and destroy it. Say this to encourage Joab." When Uriah's wife heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for him. After the time of mourning was over, David had brought her to his house, and she became his wife and born him a son. But the thing David had done displeased the Lord. And that last line is what really got me, because, see, I had a real reality check, because God had to remind me that the temporary feeling, like, it's in me and it's in you too. So we just got to realize that God is satisfied with us. God had already chosen us. He's already pleased with us. He's not displeased with us. He is already pleased with us. And I believe God is going to do a new thing in each and every last one of us. Not the exact same thing, but a new thing in every last one of us. God is about to release you from that temporary feeling, that temporary mindset, that temporary fire that you have for me only on Sundays. And he's about to make room for permanent positions in him, everlasting fire and joy for him. So after tonight, we are not going to have that same temporary feeling. God is about to get ready and change your mind, do a new thing. And when you show up on Sunday, it's going to be permanent feelings and not a temporary fix. Okay. So, I just want to share that a little bit. And before I get down to the end of my message, I just want to share that this message was confirmation for me to speak and share with you guys on tonight, as I stated in the beginning of this message. Like, he has been waking me up in the middle of the night. I've been blinking out. He's been downloading in me, giving me revelations, and I'm just in here just putting in my notes, not in no special format or anything like that. And then it just all came together. Like, I truly saw what God was trying to do. And so earlier this week, my husband and I, we were having this conversation about time and recognizing how we have been so busy for God. My husband studied, I think this was last week. He was studying from like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. straight for like 5 days, all last week straight. And he was trying to obtain his insurance license, which he got. Congratulations. So he was trying to get his insurance license. And on top of that, we both go to school and we try to make time for studying and stuff like that. And what came along with that was that God gave me that in that moment that this temporary feeling, this temporary moment, this time was not just for me to keep, but for me to not only share with my husband, but to share with you guys as well, because it may be somebody out there that's struggling with time as well, or that's struggling with a temporary feeling as well that needs to hear this message. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you guys and let you guys know that this message was confirmation for me to share with you guys, because we get so caught up in pursuing something else because it comes with a certificate and or it comes with a degree or just something on paper. And yes, that's a wonderful feeling and a good look on your resume, right? But when you're pursuing Jesus, it comes with absolutely everything. It's nothing on paper that you can physically see, but everything in your heart that you can actually feel. And I think that's what we have to realize, that when we're making time for these things because we want to see a degree or we want to add something on our resume or whatever, but we have to recognize that when we are pursuing Jesus, that Jesus is going to give us everything that we need. We may not be able to see it, on paper, like we will want to, but everything that Jesus is going to give to us is way better than anything that's on our resume, right? So everything in your heart that he gives us everything in your heart that you can actually use and grow from. Everything in your heart that you can actually keep permanent. Like, you don't have to keep renewing yourself in him like you have to do with your resume. Like with your resume, you have to keep updating it. You have to make sure you keep putting this stuff on your resume to make sure someone is actually noticing you or you're qualified for this particular job. But with Jesus, you don't have to do that. You don't have to keep assuring him that you are the one or that you're qualified in him. You don't have to keep doing that. And that's the wonderful thing about him. And that is what God has to offer. Like, that is what he gives us. So he offers permanent solutions, so, and like I said earlier, God can be a little dramatic, because what God has to offer, it may take people away, it may take things away, and it may leave that temporary feeling of pain or hurt, but I guarantee you that it's going to leave a permanent outcome of greatness. Greatness we can't achieve with the temporary feeling, so that is what God has to offer. And when my husband and I were talking, I had to use that revelation that God gave me I had to use that to, I guess, not really make it make sense, but to be like, wow. Because I think that is a lot of people's problem. Like, they go out and they go so hard and they try to pursue all this stuff because it's something that they can actually put on their resume, or something that they can actually see physically on a piece of paper. And maybe they struggle a little bit because they can't see it from God, but we can. We see it through our growth. We see it through elevation. We see it through greatness coming from us. We see it through our different mindset, or the different mindset that he's given us, because it's just great. So as I get ready and wind down, and leave you guys. I just wanted to leave you guys with this, okay? I wanted to leave you guys with a permanent fix from God, because He is doing a permanent fix in me. There's no more temporary feelings. There's no more excuses that we're using, right? We don't have to worry about displeasing God. No more of the old routine, because God can't give you a permanent fix and you are offering a temporary faith. You know how that work if we're just having faith temporarily. I don't know how far many of us is going to go with just that. Like, I believe it's time to stop showing up to get those band-aids for your pain, because band-aids only fixes small wounds and make you feel better just for the moment. Like my kids ask for a band-aid all the time, and all of a sudden when they get that band-aid, they feel better. It's almost like a psychological thing. So with that being said, like, we got to start showing up, and we got to start showing out to receive the cure, the remedy, the permanent solution, and the one thing that can remove the disease or the condition for good, which is Jesus Himself. That's who we're showing up for. And He will start doing the work in you so the new things can take place. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. And see, and I am done. And I do encourage you guys to read 2 Samuel chapter 11, because to me, that was pretty good, and a good way of showing temporary feelings that David had, and where temporary feelings can actually lead you. It can lead you to permanent situations that you may not want to be in, or it can lead you into old habits that would be hard for you to change, or it'll lead you to displeasing God, and we don't want to do that off of a temporary feeling. So I hope the word of the Lord is blessed, and I truly pray that this has blessed you guys and each and every one of you. And let's just not forget to sow into this ministry. It should be at the bottom of your screen. You guys can Cash App at $ iLMgive. You can also PayPal. You can also text to give as well. And that should be at the bottom of your screen. All right. And thank you guys. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. And I hope this has blessed you guys as it blessed me, as it came to me. And you guys have a blessed night. Bye.